All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to make another moto-vlog. On my last vlog, I talked about why I chose Vietnam. This vlog, I'm gonna ramble on about a few topics, specifically COVID. Maybe I'll get into riding a motorbike a little bit. One of my subscribers asked me about that in the comments. Maybe I'll talk about the direction of my channel, maybe get some advice. When I first came to Vietnam, there was no such thing as COVID. I was here for about 9 months before I came along. I was taking my Tet holiday out in Dalat with no idea that COVID was about to strike the world hard. I came back from Dalat expecting to go back to work, but they canceled work. That's a loud truck. They canceled work and they said they were gonna give us about 3 to 5 weeks. I can't remember specifically how long, but we'd be back normal, 3 weeks. All right, no problem, I'll just lounge about. I'm a video gamer. I have no problem sitting at home playing some video games. Well, karaoke. Those guys sit out there at karaoke on the side of the road and they collect tips. Karaoke is a big thing in Vietnam. Actually, I just posted a video, a birthday party. It was a karaoke birthday party. You guys might find it interesting. I didn't film as much as I should have. But anyways, back to the subject at hand. So 3 weeks, no work. They'd let us know. After 3 weeks, time passed. I'm gonna take a left turn here. Last time I went right, so I'm gonna turn left. So we're gonna go a different direction. We're in Ho Chi Minh City. I live in Nha Bay. So if you guys wanna know where my starting location is, it's right on the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh City. Now guys, remember, this is a rambling vlog, and I'm very good at rambling, so my subjects will bounce all over the place. If you guys wanna see some of my more edited videos, I have lots of them. And oh, by the way, guys, thank you so much for your guys' support. When I started this YouTube channel 2 years ago, my videos sucked. I'm not saying they're any better now, but I've been trying hard for the last month. You guys have really shown me your support with your views and your subscriptions. It's given me a lot of encouragement to keep going, so I'm just gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on keeping on, as the saying goes. Anyways, so after 3 weeks, no job because of COVID. They issued another statement saying they were going to wait 3 more weeks. And to make a long story short, they did it again and again and again, and it dragged out about 5 months. When it came to be about late May or so, May or June maybe, I was able to go back to work for about a month and a half. And then the season shut down and we had a few months off. During that time, Vietnam didn't get hit very hard with COVID. Vietnam actually made the news a lot in the West. My dad was telling me about how well they were handling the crisis here. I mean, not quite sure what Vietnam did differently, but I have some opinions. I know in Asia, it's very common to wear a mask. When I first got here, I always asked my friends, you know, why do you wear a mask? Oh, it's to get the dirt out of our face when we drive. Okay, no problem. I didn't wear one. I just wasn't used to it. I'm from the West. The point I'm trying to make is I think masks had a lot to do with it. The Asian people here in Vietnam were very, very used to wearing masks. So when the government said, hey, you guys need to wear your mask everywhere you go, people here were like, well, hell, we do that anyways. No big deal. People started paying a little bit more attention to washing their hands, social distancing. Some of the restaurants and bars, they would close early. You weren't allowed to have large gatherings. The virus just didn't spread that well. Didn't spread that well here at all. There was one case in Ho Chi Minh City where I live where there was almost 3 months of no reported cases. But then I remember one time there was a steward, you know, the guys that serve you drinks and airplane peanuts, on one of the domestic airlines here. He had COVID. Maybe he brought it from somewhere else in Vietnam, but he brought it to Saigon, and he was of an alternative persuasions, alternative orientation, and he had a male friend come and visit him in a hotel room. They were probably just having some cafe sua and hanging out. I don't know what they were doing. But he spread the disease to this guy, and he was a Westerner, and he went around about, did his normal business, and he took it to many restaurants, different bars, his household. And it went a couple days before he realized he had caught the virus. And the government and the police did a really good job interviewing him and tracking down everywhere he went and isolating all the cases. And it went great, from what I heard. They were able to quarantine everybody that was in contact with him. The virus didn't spread. The cases came back down. Nothing to worry about. Life went on as normal. I went to work every day. Businesses were open for the most part. I don't think they were allowing too many people into the country. I think they were doing a 2-week quarantine. It's hard for me to know really because I wasn't paying attention due to the fact I was already in the country and I wasn't, trying to come in as a tourist. So, but I think they were doing a 2-week quarantine, and it was quite expensive too. You had to stay at a specific hotel. It could cost you several thousands of dollars just for that 2-week quarantine, and they would give you the PCR or PCB. Guys, don't use me as a knowledge source on terminology, but for God's sakes, you don't want to do that. And anyways, life went on as normal. And then they had the different variations. I don't remember what it was called. I know they got Omicron now, but maybe it was a Delta variation. And there were some rumors of some people coming over from Cambodia, and Cambodia was hit very hard with the coronavirus. And they were coming into the country, specifically into southern and western Vietnam, and they were spreading the virus pretty hard. And that's when all crap hit the fan, so to speak. I don't know if you guys seen the Airplane movie. You guys remember when the load of poop hit the fan and it spread everywhere? Well, that's what happened here. And work stopped again. It stopped about 2 months earlier than it should have, which was a huge disappointment. I wanted to spend my summer traveling around Vietnam, and I was saving up my money, and I probably started saving a little late. But anyways, so that was kind of sad. Had to go home from work pretty early. I thought it was just going to be during the summer. It turned out it wasn't. The cases here continue to rise. COVID just absolutely spiraled out of control. The government had to step in really hard. They closed down all restaurants, all bars for dine-in, meaning you could go and take away. So that's okay. There was some cum tam places I like, so I'd go get my food, my cum ga, chicken and rice, 35,000, no big deal. But cases kept getting worse, so the government said, well, we're gonna close down all the restaurants. We're gonna make it so you guys can't gather in public. We gotta do something to stop this spread. So now all restaurants were gone. Everybody had to cook at home. I didn't live in the United States at the time. Maybe some of you guys did. You can tell me in the comments. You guys remember the toilet paper crisis? I saw that all over Facebook and the news. Well, it was kind of like a crisis here too when it came to all the grocery stores. People were panic buying everything. Frozen meats, dried food. I mean, anything you can think of, people were panic buying. I'm actually running out of gas. Well, I won't run out of gas soon, but you guys stick around and you'll see me go into a gas station. But I didn't go to the grocery stores. I didn't cook at home much. I cooked noodles. I'm a gamer. The activities I did are very low caloric impact on my body, so I wasn't eating that much. A lot of sausage, a lot of noodles. I just went to 7-Eleven and Vinmart in my apartment complex. Where am I? I think I'm in District 5. Let's hang right here and go on towards District 1. So we did that for a little bit. This is the middle of summer. Now remember, no restaurants, no bars, grocery stores, okay. Virus continued to spread. So the government stepped in and said, you know what? We're shutting down all inter-district travel. We don't want anybody to go out. You can't go out and exercise. You can't go out and walk around. And you guys need to stay at home. The grocery stores are now closed. The ones that are open in your apartment complexes, those ones close at 6 p.m. The bigger ones outside of any kind of apartment complex area you may live in, it's like as the Bakwasans or the Lotte Marts, those were done. So what you had to do is you had to join a social media group, and you had to put in orders. You know, I want 1 kilogram of chicken, I want 5 ramen noodles, I want some lettuce, I want some whatever. I can't really speak from experience because I didn't do it. I had my girlfriend to help me out a lot. But she would join the social groups, she would order the food, and they would deliver it. And I lived in a big apartment complex, and security had barricaded the entire complex. So all the Grab drivers had to stay out of the complex. And I lived in the backwards block, I lived in the B block. So I actually had to get on my motorbike and drive to where the apartment complex started every time we would get a delivery. So we got our food like that for a while. And the way it affected my life, I mean, I had to stay in home, but I had worked all year. My last year that I went to, I didn't miss a single day of work. Unlike the first day I was here, or the first year, excuse me, where I did call out, I was sick. Now, I'm not saying I was never sick, or I was never tired, or I was never hungover, or I never just didn't feel like working. I really made it a point last year to go to work every day and just not miss a day, not call out sick, and it worked. So I was tired. I was looking forward to the summer break. Little disappointed I didn't get to travel on my motorbike throughout Vietnam, but that's okay. I love playing video games, so I caught up a lot on Black Desert Online. Played a lot of Path of Exile, Heroes of the Storm, Magic the Gathering. If you guys know about any of these games or are gamers, or you want to tell me what kind of games you guys play, you guys can let me know in the comments. I'm still not working, so I'll have plenty of time to interact. But anyways, back to the COVID story. That went on for a few months. You couldn't go between districts. They had police barricades. They had police checkpoints. You had to show special paperwork to show that you're even allowed to be out. Usually you had to be like a delivery driver or a business owner or something like that. You're moving goods, food, whatever people are ordering online. You'd get to your little security checkpoints at the apartment complexes or the neighborhoods, and the police and security. Did I miss the gas station? Ah, it's coming up. The police and security would use their little sanitizing spray, and they'd spray down your boxes, try to keep everything clean. The cases started to drop. The government did a good job, even with the scary new variant. The case started to drop. People started to feel a little safer, and they opened it back up. I'm gonna pull in and get gas here. I'll continue my story as soon as I'm done getting gas. You guys want me to talk a little bit about getting gas in Vietnam? You know, in the West, in America specifically, everything's self-serve. Well, here it's not self-serve. They do it for you. Tay bên? Tay bên. Đúng rồi. As you can see, he'll pour the gas for me. You're not allowed to do it yourself. I don't know why. I think it's just easier that way. Well, it's 75K, 3/4 of a tank. Gas prices have increased since the COVID restrictions have stopped. Change here, thank you, sir. Anyway, so that's a gas station. In the West, you got to get out of the car and help yourself. Not here. Full service, like VIP. All right, so we're in District 1 right now. Where was I? The COVID cases, they got under control. The government opened things back up. Sorry, that's what they call Kansat, traffic police. The police are actually really cool. I've had a lot of run-ins. They're very understanding. A lot of them can speak English. They're very, very nice people. Much like the police in the West. The police here are normal. Anyways, so they started opening things back up, but a lot of restaurants and a lot of bars were really hurt because they had to still keep paying rent if they wanted to keep their spot, and those that couldn't pay rent had to lose their spot. And after so many months of having to make your own food, people got used to not going to restaurants anymore. So even when the restaurants started opening back up, it's like I got a red light here. Restaurants started opening back up. People were so used to not making their own food, the restaurants weren't making any business. And so many people didn't have jobs, so people didn't have the money to go out and eat anyways. So this favorite cum tam place I used to go to, I spoke of earlier, I get the cum ga, they were selling vegetables during the COVID restriction. They wouldn't even open up their cum tam because they said they tried, but nobody was coming. And what they're saying is absolutely true, because even though when they reopened, I was so used to eating at home, I didn't go either. To where before I was going 5 times a week. If you're just eating by yourself, it's just as cheap to go to cum tam, and $35,000 is $1.50. You go out and buy all those supplies and you're just cooking for yourself, you're gonna pay that much anyways. Oh man, 40-second wait on this light. One of my first videos I did when I came to Ho Chi Minh City, I walked through this neighborhood. It was such a bad video, I ended up taking it down. The audio quality was so bad. It's nice having a good microphone now. Now, like I said, guys, this is just me rambling. That's what these moto vlogs are. I kind of come out here with a little bit of an idea what I'm going to talk about, and I kind of just bounce all over the place. So about 3 months ago, I think it's been about 3 months, they said everything is back to normal, but things weren't the same. A lot of the tourists, a lot of the foreigners like myself that were living in Vietnam had to leave so long without work. It was very hard. They couldn't afford it. They had to go back to their home country. I was a taxpayer. I'm an American, and I was a taxpayer in 2019. So all the stimulus checks that were provided by the government, I was lucky enough to get them. I don't know how much we got. They're $1,200 or $1,800 USD. The last one I got, $600 or so. I think I took it, and I wasn't responsible at all. I took it and went straight to Crescent Mall in District 7. And I bought new shoes and new pants and some nice shirts. But I'm lucky. I have family that loves me. I have family that takes care of me. If I didn't have that family, I would not have left Vietnam. I still saved up a lot of money when I was working, but I was and still am living a semi-Western lifestyle. I live in a modern apartment. I have all the modern gadgets. I got the fast internet. I run my electricity bill up with the air conditioner. I stay comfortable. I got cats. I smoke cigarettes, but smoking here is cheap. Speaking of smoking, how many of you guys are from the USA and you guys are cigarette smokers? Now, I'm from California, and when I left California to buy a pack of Marlboros, you were looking at $9 or $10 a pack. Now, a pack of Marlboros in California really only costs $1, and the other $9 or $8 is taxes. You know, those taxes go to medical insurances and stuff like that. You know, there's good reasons for them. But here in Vietnam, they don't have those taxes. So if you want to smoke, you can buy cigarettes for as low as 50 cents a pack. I smoke some of the mid-range cigarettes. I like smoking Winston's. So those are $1 a pack. You can get some fancy, some Dunhills or some Camels, and those are going to run you closer to $2 a pack. But if you're a smoker here and you come to Vietnam and you're trying to quit, it's hard because it's so cheap. So good to see the police patrol back out here watching the streets. For quite a while after the COVID restriction, I think the police went on holiday for a few weeks. When I came out at first, I didn't see police anywhere. I think they were just so tired from all the roadblocks. They had to take a little bit of a break. Anyways, where was I at? So here we are now. It's January 9th, I believe. And everything's starting to feel a little bit normal, for me anyways. When it comes to tourism, the hot spots like Bui Vien, where all the backpackers and the tourists would go to drink and go to the girly bars and have that kind of, I don't know, Bangkok, Thailand experience here in Ho Chi Minh City. that's done. I did a video on it a few weeks ago where I walked around for 15 or 20 minutes. You guys want to check that out? See if I can remember to put a little plug-in up there on the top right. The top right, yeah. If you guys want to check that out, that street's dead. And I'm not sure when it's going to revive. Good riddance to it. If anybody's from Las Vegas, let me know. I lived in Las Vegas and visited Las Vegas a lot. And you know how it is when you live in Vegas? The cool place to go if you want to party is the Las Vegas Strip, right? Or Fremont Street if you're a little bit more old school. Even when I lived in Vegas, after a month of living there, I was done. I'd already seen it, been there, done that. That's how I feel about Bouvienne. I still like going there from time to time, see the pretty girls, have a few drinks. But it's not my cup of tea anymore. There's a lot of debauchery, a lot of scams, a lot of not so friendly activity on Bouvienne. It's not a place I recommend you go to. But if you want to party and meet girls, sure, go. Anyways, places that depend on tourist traffic, it really hurt. Now, when it comes to quarantines now, I believe they're down to 3 days here in the country. The tourist visas don't exist right now. I believe you can get in with a tourist group. So if you book a tourist company from wherever you're from, they'll get you in on a tourist visa, but it's very restricted. You have to stay with your group. You're not free to wander. You have to see the sites that they take you to, and when you're done, you go home. I heard that they might start opening things up around April or May for tourist visas again, but don't take that as a fact from me. This is just what people heard. You guys remember the beginning of my story, I talked about, they said COVID would close the city for 3 weeks and then we'd be back to normal. And then it went 3 weeks longer and 3 weeks longer, etc. So take everything with a grain of salt. We got the Omicron virus now. Who knows how that's going to hit us. Oh, I just saw on Facebook today, which is of course the world's best news source, that Ho Chi Minh City has become a green zone. And what that means here is that it's not COVID free, but it's COVID safe. The COVID cases are really starting to decline. Vaccinations here are at about 80% vaccinated. That's what my dad told me on a Google search. I know I'm vaccinated. I live out on the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh, so my district was one of the last districts to get vaccinated. And through my own neglect, I missed the first one because I slept in a little bit, and they ran out of the European AstraZeneca. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. So I wasn't able to get it, and they gave me another option, and it was the Chinese virus, or the Chinese vaccine. Excuse me. My girlfriend was with me at the time, and I went through the whole line, the blood pressure tests, all the things, and I got up to the doctor. He saw I couldn't speak Vietnamese, so my girlfriend came over and she asked him what kind of vaccine he was going to give me, and he was going to administer the Chinese one. And she said no. She pulled on my arm and we left. So I was actually a couple months behind on getting my vaccine. I'm going to take a quick break here and check on my camera. I use a GoPro, and the battery really gets eaten up pretty quick. I'm gonna sit here. I just went through District 4, if you guys are wondering, and now I'm on the edges of District 7. So I'm gonna drive through District 7, and who knows where. Maybe I'll go back towards Na Bay. I don't know. If there's any areas of Ho Chi Minh City you guys want me to see, I will happily go there. There's plenty of places I haven't shown on my motor-vlog series because I haven't done many motor vlogs. If you like my motor vlogs, hit that like button. If you don't, hit the dislike and tell me why you don't like them. Now remember, this is just a rambling. I don't come in here, it's unedited, it's raw. It's just something I'm trying out. I'm gonna take a small break for a smoke. Sit here and enjoy the shade. Looks like all camera equipment's go. It's always good to check with these GoPros, because these GoPros are designed to go underwater. They can take a pretty good beating. they're so compact and they're so tight and they don't get any ventilation, so they get very hot. And sometimes when they get super hot, they start to error a little bit. So it's really only good for running continuously, maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then you kind of got to let them breathe. All right, guys, you guys remember from my last video, I told you guys if you're a smoker like me, I'm not bragging, nothing to be proud of. It's a horrible addiction. But if you're a smoker like me, for God's sakes, don't litter. When I'm out driving around, and I'm sure when you guys drive around, you're in your car, you got your ashtray, you guys don't throw them out your window, right? Well, what I do is I just pinch them out, put them in my pocket. It makes my pocket stink a little bit, but when I go home, I throw them away. Okay, so we're driving through the edge of District 7. I'm gonna hang a ride up here. I get past this loud truck. I'm gonna hang a ride up here. I'm gonna go by one of my old apartments when I used to live in District 7. Show you guys that, maybe, if I remember. I got a crap memory. This whole complex right here, they just built this and opened it up probably about 6 months ago. It looks very nice at night, well lit. So back to COVID. We're now a green zone. I got word from my company that work will start again after Tet holiday. Tet holiday is usually late January, early February, and it lasts about 2 weeks. Here in Asia, they celebrate the new year based on the lunar cycle, and that's what they'll call Tet. I might travel somewhere, and if I do, look forward to that video. I've done some small traveling recently just to get out. They're being locked down on COVID. You guys can check those out if you want. Everything's starting to feel pretty normal again. It's nice to be out. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Thank you so much for your likes and your comments. I've met some cool people through the comments. Thank you to the other YouTube creators that have reached out to me and complimented my work. One of my subscribers asked me about motorbiking in Vietnam. He had been in Vietnam before, and he was told by the locals that, oh, you're a Westerner, you just can't handle motorbiking. You just need to book grab bike. You know, don't try to drive a bike on your own. The traffic here is too heavy, it's too scary. And I was told kind of the same thing when I first got here. I'm gonna hang a right here in Mitsubishi. I used to live down this street. I was told the same thing. Traffic's too scary here, you're not gonna be able to handle a bike. And I had never driven a bike before. I only drove cars. I mean, when I was very young, I drove a dirt bike, but my experience with that is I drove it straight into a wooden fence. So that didn't go too well. But after living here for a few months, I finally decided to teach myself how to ride a motorbike. This little apartment right here is actually where I used to live quite a while ago. This little alleyway in District 7. Well, I decided I was going to teach myself how to ride a motorbike. So I went and rented one, and there's this really cool place owned by a Dutch guy named Patrick called Saigon Dragon Bikes. I'll leave his phone number down in the description below. If you guys want to get a hold of him. I rented a Yamaha, an older version. And the guy I was staying with, I'm still friends with to this day. I just spent New Year's Eve with him, in fact. Very nice guy. Also from the Netherlands, also Dutch. He took me out late at night and he told me, only worry about what's in front of you. Don't worry about what's behind you. Just follow me. And it was about 9 p.m. and there's a lot of bikes out. And I felt like I just had no control over the bike. I was accelerating too hard. I was braking too hard. I didn't know how to turn. I was freaking out and squeezing the handbrake and accelerating at the same time. So it wasn't a good experience. So what I decided to do is that night, I took the bike out by myself at about 11 p.m. and I drove all the way to 3 a.m. I got on the highways and went out to the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh City. And I repeated that for 4 or 5 nights in a row, and it got really comfortable. And it came to me so fast. And eventually I upgraded my bike to a 2012 Airblade. I rented that from the same guy, Saigon Dragon Bikes, for a little over a year. I got really comfortable driving bikes. I was never in any major accidents. In fact, the biggest motorbike accidents I was ever in, I was actually on the back of a grab bike. Somebody sideswiped him. So I wasn't even driving at the time. Eventually I decided I was gonna buy my own bike. So now I'm driving a 2000, I thought I just heard an ambulance honk. Now I'm driving a 2019 Airblade. I did a video on taking that one to an oil change. If you guys want to see that one, thanks, Horn. If you guys want to see that one close up, check out those videos. Speaking of horns, if you guys know, I'm from America, and in the West we use our horns as kind of a form of anger, as like a big F you, or get out of the way, or nice driving, jerkhead, you know, that kind of stuff. People here in Asia, they honk their horns just to say, hey, look at me, or hey, I'm coming through, or hey, give me some attention. The horn honking here is not anger driven whatsoever. It's just to let other people know you're here and you're coming. So now I honk my horn the same way. If I see somebody ahead of me that looks like maybe they're unsure of their destination and I'm worried they might swerve in my direction, I'll honk my horn as I go past and let them know I'm here. Like I said, I ramble. So don't believe the hype. Driving a motorbike here is not hard. Getting your driver's license here is not hard. Do it the legal way. The police here, it's not like America. In America, they need a reason to pull you over. Here, they do not. So they will pull you over. They will check your paperwork. They will check your license. And if you messed up, they will fine you. You'll pay a fine on the spot, or they'll take your bike, depending on the severity of your crime. So it's always good to do things legally here. Now I've put on my new bike, the bike that I own, I'm gonna look down right now. I bought it at 5,000 kilometers. I'm at 14, so just on this bike alone, I put 9,000 kilometers on, and I've had it for about a year. So I've probably driven 15 to 20,000 kilometers on motorbike around Vietnam. So this motorbike's like an extension of me. Very, very comfortable with it. But driving here is kind of a controlled chaos. I'm lucky to be in Ho Chi Minh City where there's a lot of traffic lights. You go somewhere like the lot, there's no traffic lights. So at least here, you know when to go and you know when to stop. So I highly recommend, if you're going to be here for a long period of time, to get your own bike. If you're here just visiting for a little while, check out Saigon Dragon Bikes. The guy's prices are very reasonable. He has very good bikes. He takes very good shape of them, or excuse me, he takes very good care of them. So highly recommend the guy. Very nice guy. Okay. So what else can I ramble about on my way home? Besides the COVID situation finally getting under control and looking forward to going back to work, trying out this YouTube thing. I should have done it during the lockdown, but I didn't. It is what it is. Hopefully you guys will stick with me. Hopefully you guys will continue watching my videos as I produce them. You guys will go back and watch some of my old videos. Your guys' support means a lot to me. If you guys didn't know, I also provide my channel. I provide subtitles and I translate them into about 15 other languages. That way people from different parts of the globe can watch my videos. I kind of feel like I'm wrapping it up here. I'm an introvert, so all this talking really takes down my social energy. I need to go home and meditate for an hour or two to recharge after all this talking. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, anything you want to see, I've showed you guys getting my oil changed. I've showed you guys going to the dentist. I've showed you guys going to the bank and receiving Western Union. I got plans to show you guys Lotte Mart and Vin Mart. I've showed you guys shopping malls. Showed you guys Nguyen Hue. I've showed you guys Buvien. There's lots of things I can show you guys. There's lots of things in my head. If you guys can think of some, and I know you can, tell me, give me some ideas, and I'll get right out there and make that content for you. If you have any suggestions on how to make my videos better, let me know. I've gotten lots of advice from other creators and just other viewers. I've taken their advice to heart, and my channel has done nothing but grown and gotten better. So thank you guys so much for your comments and support. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here as I leave District 7 and head back into Niabe. I look forward to hearing you guys. Stay awesome and stay classy. Goodbye.